Alright, just to give you an update on what we've done, we had to turn our wood stove into a mini boiler. So what we did was we installed the 20 feet of soft copper coil up inside the top of the stove on that shelf that's in there. There's like a 3-inch shelf. We had a cheap $20 water pump. It worked great. We had it mounted up here. It was very noisy, so we mounted it underneath. It worked really good, but it was really hard to get the air out of the system with it down there pushing. So we were going to do 2 of these pumps, but we didn't want to run a cheap pump 24/7 for the next couple months. So we went with this Sid. It's roughly about 300 bucks. Works off magnetics. Very quiet. We just installed it. We just lit a fire and like 5 minutes ago. So we are still in the cool range, but the water going out of here is warm. So basically there's a 1.5 gallons of water in the system, and this pump will pump, it's right around 6 gallons a minute. So it's going to pass through, I don't know, roughly about 3 times every minute. This is a 12 volt, 20 watts. We wanted to get the 12 volt, 10 watt, but it only had it is out of stock for the next 2 months, so we couldn't wait 2 months. And this has more of the lift that we need. We're in a 53-foot semi, and we have 6 55-gallon drums mounted up underneath, and we have about a 6-foot height difference, head height. So this is actually probably the one we needed, but we were trying to keep our watts down, but it's probably better that we ended up with this one instead. The other one only has a lift of like 3 foot. So basically the PEX from the stove comes out of the stove, runs down through the aluminum track underneath the subfloor of the semi, comes down, stubs through the floor in between this barrel and the other barrel, does a loop around this barrel, and then does half loops around the middle barrels on each side. We'll be taping this part off where we want it to touch the barrels. So the foam, the spray foam, we're going to spray foam over top of these. There's 6 55-gallon drums mounted, which holds roughly 300 gallons of water, and 5 of them. One of them is our gray water, and the reason why we heated the gray water tank as well is so it'll keep that water warm and run back through the drain lines, and hopefully keeping all the drain lines from freezing if there's any accumulated water that might be sitting. We're hoping that works. It'll create enough warm vapor. And then these, like I said, these will get taped to the barrel so the foam doesn't get underneath the barrel to create like a little bridge right here. And then we'll foam what we don't want to touch, but as long as half of the barrel is touching, it should keep the water inside once we spray foam over top of it at a pretty even temperature. here's the drums underneath, and you can see where the hot water line comes down through the floor and goes down, and the return goes back. It goes through here, goes around this drum, and comes out and goes around the next one. So what you're seeing here is spray foam. I tried it with Saran wrap. It didn't work because it didn't dry. I thought it was going to. And then a good friend of ours, Susan Rominger, she said try cheesecloth, and sure enough, cheesecloth was the way to go. It dried real nice, and you can see that the hot water line runs along all the water lines, and then it goes through and runs around all the drain lines as well. Just to touch base on the wood stove conversion, works really well. We haven't had any problems with our water tanks freezing in our underbelly, so no problems with those freezing or the water lines freezing. We have a thermostat down there. Our underbelly is 47 degrees, and it's 22 degrees outside right now, and the inside temperature is 89 in this room. It's going out at 150 degrees, and it comes back at about 140, about 10 degrees difference after it cycles around everything. So then this will vary. So at night, when it's all the way choked down, it usually runs about, it goes out about 125 degrees and cycles around everything. The little 20-watt pump, it's a great little pump. It's very quiet, you can't hear it run. Uses about 3%. Our battery will be down about 3%, and we have 3 Battle-Born batteries, 100 amp hour batteries. So with this running and the 12-volt ceiling fan running all night long, we'll probably lose about 3% throughout the night. With the solar system, and the sun's up today, it's bringing in about 600 watts. The batteries are charged before 11 o'clock. They're, just depending, where they were at when we went to bed.